Hey guys, so this video is to kind of give a short and simple demonstration on the example that I posted on Portals of the Aquarius. And so that's a rough sketch of it. I'm just showing you. You'll need a ruler, your paper, and a pencil. This is my lead pencil here. It looks like I don't know what happened. It looks like I lost my little tip there. Hopefully it won't give me too much trouble. I think it'll be fine. Anyway, if you don't have a ruler, I say use some kind of envelope or something stiff that has a straight line that you can use to draw straight lines. This is an envelope. You can fold it in half to make it thicker. You can fold your paper if you have extra paper that you don't need. Just take the paper, fold it in half a couple of times to make something strong enough to make straight lines. So the first thing that you need to do is place your line maker somewhere in the middle of your paper. I decided I'll draw my line there. Straight line across. Decide where you want your vanishing point. The vanishing point is going to guide us. It'll help us create the rest of the lines to make the aquarium. It'll help us make these lines here that go up towards the top of the paper, down towards the bottom of the paper to create the path and to create the lines of the glass of the aquarium. All right, so the first thing we should start with, maybe the path. Make sure your ruler is lined up with the vanishing point towards the bottom of your paper. Make the straight line. On this side, make sure that you make your line maker touch your vanishing point and then lead it across towards the bottom of your paper. Draw your line. So now you have this triangle sitting here on the bottom part of your horizon line. And by the way, the horizon line separates the top from the bottom. This is the sky or the wall. In the case of our aquarium, this will be our aquarium here. The glass and the fishes and all that will go up here. This is the floor, right? Okay, so then the next thing we should do is, if you have a ruler, you can measure out how thick you want your squares to be. If you look back at the example, it shows the what do you call it, the floor, the path to be checkered. And I don't think the example shows that everything is evenly spaced, but you can use a ruler to evenly space everything out. If not, I guess you can just do the best that you can, eyeball it, or you can make marks on your envelope or your piece of paper and decide, I think I want all of my checkers to be about this size apart here at the bottom. So then with that, you can use it to measure out. You just sit it next to each other, measure it out, sit it next to each other, measure it out. It's up to you, totally up to you. Once you have these lines down here, you line up the line with your vanishing point. Bring your pencil up from the vanishing point down to the bottom to make your line. Line up with your vanishing point and the line at the bottom. Draw a line. Make sure that you guys are holding down your line maker. If you don't hold it down, the line maker or the ruler will move and then the line will not be straight. So just make sure you're holding while you're drawing to make sure your lines are straight. Okay, one thing that you need to keep in mind once you have these lines going from the vanishing point to the bottom of the paper is that this is the closest to your viewer, right? And this is far away. So in order to give that perspective, you have to make sure that everything here towards the bottom of the paper is bigger than everything going off into the distance. So that means that these checkers are going to be thicker, a lot thicker than these out here. So this is my first row of checkers, and they're not checkers yet because I have to color them in later. But just keep in mind, these are going to be bigger and they're wider already because we already measured out from the vanishing point. And as you go to the end, they get smaller, okay? Keep that in mind. That's the second row. Okay, so now I'm going to start making them a little bit smaller as I keep going. Smaller and smaller and smaller. And they'll get smaller until the very end towards my vanishing point. So once I'm finished, I'll show you what it's supposed to look like, and it's supposed to give the impression of going off into the distance, okay? So bigger, smaller.